Hello and welcome back to another Talking Tale video. In today's one, we've got the TMNT, the Panini comics from the UK, and oh boy, this series, this issue brings back a lot of memories. I remember reading this issue 10 years ago when it first came out, and oh boy, some of this stuff, it brings back some memories, mostly positive ones, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff in this issue I want to say, where there's some stuff which I feel like they didn't properly have a good understanding of the show at the time, and also at the same time there's also other elements of this issue where like I don't think they properly knew that they could properly like advance the story or anything like that, so it's a weird one. But yeah, so for this issue we got two comics. So for the first one is called Takeout, and the second one is what's it called? It's called Chasing Shadows. So for Takeout, this one is just about 5 pages, and there's not really too much to it other than just Turtles just trying to get back home with their pizzas. And on their way home, we do get seen trying to stop a robbery, but then the old lady beats them up. Yeah, and then after that we do get see Pearl Dragons there in this issue, and they cause a house fire, and you know the Turtles beat them up as well. And then finally they get home, however a truck runs into them and destroys all the pizzas. This issue, I mean this story in particular, this one, I always remember this one quite well just because of like this is the very first one which they released, and I don't necessarily think this one's bad. I feel like this one's actually quite good and really enjoyable for what they're trying to go for at the time with like this version of the Turtles. It does suit this version really well. It does feel like a very basic kind of story where like they didn't really want to like push their boundaries a bit too much just in case we weren't allowed to do stuff. It's a very basic kind of story, but I think it works to its advantage for what they're trying to go for. And yeah, the nostalgia elements of this one, it really does bring back a lot of nostalgic aspects for this one. There's so many, mostly good times for this one. And then for the next one, which is called Chasing Shadows, this one's one where I do definitely feel like there's a lot of promise with this one. Just because I feel like some aspects where you get to see Mikey, he feels really off character and feels like really trying to go in for the more kiddie, dumb kind of humour kind of thing. And does, I don't want to say ruins his character, but it just doesn't really feel like his character. Just because, like, throughout this whole issue, he goes on saying about, oh no, I've got a paper car, April's a wizard because she can fix it. And also going on about saying about how there's Krang energy, and there's a lot of, like, really weird, stupid kind of stuff, which I definitely feel like is really off character for this version of Mikey. But I feel like that's mainly down to the fact that I don't think at the time I had a good understanding of these versions of the characters. But at the same time, it's just a 5-page comic script, so you know, what do you really expect? You can't really expect like a form, like masterpiece, like maybe not masterpiece from IDW, but closest thing to a good comic, I suppose. But yeah, also like saying with this one we got to see the Turtles. They're going out and trying to find Kirby, because at the time when this issue was coming out, this one was just coming out around like season 1. I want to say, I think it's coming out 2013. I want to say. So that would have been roughly around time that Kirby was still imprisoned by the Krang, and it's annoying because there's some aspects which I do like about it, how like they are probably going after Kirby, trying to further expand upon that plot from the show, and you're bringing in Spider Bites, which was a really nice surprise. And I do definitely feel like this one definitely does feel like it fits the show a lot more and helps the show be like a better show in a way. We're trying to further expand upon certain story elements and characters and stuff like that, which I do quite enjoy, because I feel like it definitely helps expand this universe quite a bit in a lot of good ways. However, just like with the show, it isn't all like most of the IDW comics, I want to say, it can't really further expand upon the storyline from the actual show, because otherwise it would interfere with the show. So I feel like that's the biggest downside to this issue. Or, like, I'll say it's the main one. The Mikey one is pretty bad, but I feel like it can be excused because, you know, like it's very early on in the show, so you can't really blame it all too much. And because in fact, like, they had no connection to actually writing on the show or anything like that, you know, like mistakes can be forgiven at some points. And because in fact, the show came out like 4 or 5 months before this comic came out. You know, it's understandable for those kind of mistakes to happen. So I'll allow them off this one's time, I suppose. But like the other stuff, which like I was saying, it can't really further expand upon like the story or anything like that. It's like I can't really blame the comic company because it's not their fault that you work within like the limitations that the company gives them. But I feel like this is more like a problem on like Paramount and on Nickelodeon and all kind of stuff with the show, where they can't really further expand upon like anything within like this universe without it being an actual TV show. Because I feel like the Panini comics and also the RW ones, they could have like told some like really interesting like ongoing stories within these universes, but because they can't do anything with like certain characters, or at the very least have like long lasting effects on the actual universe itself, it feels like it's setting up interesting stories only for it to go nowhere, and for just the rest of the series just to be like short one-off kind of stories which don't have any real like effect to this universe other than just it's being there and it's decent and it's cool. Which, don't get me wrong, I do like that kind of stuff. It's just annoying that it doesn't have any real effect on this universe or anything like that, and it can more or less just be a, oh, well, that happened, but oh well. Yeah, oh god, it's so annoying. But yeah, I'll just say that overall with these issues, or these two stories, I'll just say that it's a bit hard for me to be like more critical, because I do have a lot of fond memories from reading these comics like way back like 10 years ago and that kind of stuff, and growing up on these ones, it doesn't hit as hard as the 2003 fast forward ones, but these ones do have like a special place in my heart where I'll be like, okay, yeah, I mean, I can forgive that because that and that and that. I feel like I'm more forgiving for these comics than the actual TV show itself, so maybe that's not the best way that I should be viewing this whole universe, so here we are, I guess. But yeah, I just say that like there's like, it's a really hard one because I want to be more critical, and know like there are things like within like these issues which Roy mentioned that I dislike, but at the same time I just want to keep going on about it and just saying like these ones are actually good, but I know that I can't be that way. But yeah, I mean, it's also nice to see that the UK is also getting something exclusive for the Turtles only for the UK, which is also really nice. I mean, I've also read somewhere that maybe these comics also interfere with RW ones, so but they couldn't release RW comics in UK, but they could release these, which yeah, I mean, somewhat that would make sense for how bad things are going for RW with their financial situations. That would explain why they don't have much money now. If only they released these comics, or at the very least released the 2012 ones at the same time, who knows, they could be in a better situation. But oh boy, these issues, they are definitely something, and if you've not read these and you're a big fan of 2012 stuff, like these are really up your alley for what you want for 2012 Toll content. It's just, I don't want to say peak Toll content or peak this version of Turtles, but it's definitely up there for being some of the best stories which they have done, from what I remember. But at the same time, don't hold my word to it, because I feel like some of this stuff could be a bit crap. But we'll wait and see about that. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what about this, like these two issues. Do you like them? Do you not? Have you actually got a chance to actually read them? I've got a feeling that most of the people who are probably going to watch this video probably don't know about these issues or anything about these ones. So I'm very curious to hear what people have to say about them. But yeah, that's game for today, guys. If you please share, subscribe, and other stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.